Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks. So welcome back today to yet another tank review. Max, stop doing tank reviews. Ugh. Yeah, it's another tank review and today we're doing the 53 TP. Probably to most of you, you're like, why the hell are you doing a tank review on the 53 TP, Max? Who cares? And I'm just doing it because someone might care. Someone might be going down the Polish tech tree. I've obviously done this a little bit too late because I started going down the Polish tech tree because of Top of the Tree. And now Top of the Tree is finished and now I'm doing the tank review. Probably not the best way around to do it. However, I'm doing it now, so deal with it. Yeah, so today we're going to be going, you know how these tank reviews work. We'll be going through the stats of the vehicle, comparing it to others. I will recommend whether I like this tank or not, whether it's going to be an easy grind, whether it's going to be nice and comfortable to play through, or whether you're going to really probably going to be wanting to spend some free XP and using all the ×5s you possibly can on it. I'll let you know. And then there is going to be some ace tank gameplay at the end of the video, which if you don't want to listen to all the rest of the crap and just want to see the gameplay, I will leave a time down in the description. Simply click through to that and boom, there is some gameplay for you. For those of you who want to watch the tank review, first things first, I'll just tell you a little bit what this tank is about. So, a proposed tank for the heavy tank was developed in 1940 due to the outbreak of World War II. Development was discontinued in the blueprint stage. I swear these all say the same thing these days. Basically, never existed. I think, though, to be fair to Wargaming, they did say that when they added the Polish tanks in the game. They did kind of make them up a bit just to get a line into the game, which I'm like, yeah, cool. I really don't care. Just more tanks in the game is good. Now, the full name of the tank is the 53 TP. No, it's not happening. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that just because of the amount of offensiveness I will probably put out when I try to say that to anybody of any kind of Polish descent. So I'm not even going to bother. And yeah, with that disappointment, we're going to head over into Tanks UG and we'll have a look at the statistics of the vehicle. Right, into the statistics of the 50 TP mod. No. So, 50 TP on the left. The thing that all tier rates are compared to, the IS-3 just next to it. This tank compares quite similarly to the IS-3, to be honest. We've also got the T-34. And as well as that, I honestly can't stop yawning. The 110, seriously, it's like the middle of the day. And I haven't yawned all morning. And as soon as I start recording, it just goes, hello. So, first things first, 53 TP has a 122mm gun. Same as the IS-3. Bit bigger than the T-34 and obviously a lot bigger than the 110. Now, not all 122mm guns are made equally, apparently. Obviously, back when, before the Polish line was added, it was like, yeah, most 122mm guns do 390 average damage. What are you talking about, Max? Or if they get up to high tier, 440. This one does 420. Well, because why not? So, obviously, that is the highest, or the highest alpha in this comparison. One of the higher alpha damages of tier 8 heavies. It's quite a nice alpha, actually. You tend to find that rolling consistently for 400 is very, very nice indeed. Penetration at 218 on the standard rounds. Obviously, falls a little bit behind the T-34. But it's fairly in and amongst the rest when it comes to penetration. The APCR rounds on this thing, by the way, have 245. Which is a little bit underwhelming if you ask me. I think the IS-3 has 265. Yeah, 265. And I think the 110 is 265 as well. I thought it had heat rounds. The T-34, obviously, the T-34's got higher standard penetration. The T-34's premium rounds are ridiculous, so ignore that. 950 meters a second shell velocity is not too shabby. Like you can definitely live with that. 950 is nearly 1,000. Ammo capacity is pretty good. You can do several times you can do damage. You can do damage lots of times. You've just got to, make sure you do damage. Now, onto the gun handling. 2.7 seconds aim time, which isn't great, but when you compare it to the other tanks in this comparison, it's actually pretty good, and especially for such a, what I'd say is such a derpy gun. Obviously, it's a big gun at tier 8. Not nearly as bad as the IS-3's, obviously very infamous 3.4 seconds. Accuracy as well, not too shabby, 0.38, same as the 110. Not quite as good as the T-34, a little worse than the IS-3. The dispersion values as well, even though it's got the better aim time, I would expect the dispersion values to actually be quite poor. Just because I'd have thought they'd have wanted to keep this tank kind of in line with the other tanks that are similar to it. But no, again, pretty good. Again, right, how about the gun depression? No, 8 degrees. Obviously, not as good as the T-34, but still 8 degrees. When you compare that to your Russians and your Chinese, you're laughing. You're absolutely laughing. And gun elevation of 20 degrees, again, nobody really cares, but it's not too bad. You don't notice it. Okay, so all of this so far, the gun's pretty good in comparison to others. It's got higher alpha damage, higher DPM, and better gun handling. How about the speed? Now, this tank goes 40 kilometers an hour. So, already quite good. 16 in reverse, pretty good. 800 horsepower engine, and the tank weighs 57 tons, so it's quite a chunky tank. But because it's got that powerful engine, it still has nearly 14 horsepower per ton. So it's still not too slow. Terrain resistances, also pretty good. Turret traverse, best in class. Tank traverse, best in class. Interesting. Armour, we will come on to in a second. Health, 1450, is a little bit lower than the rest of the tanks. And a view range of 370, which quite honestly is pretty trash, but not as bad as the IS-3, which is always nice. And the shell cost is pretty nice, considering that you are what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Doing 420 damage per shot. So all in all, this tank actually looks remarkably good. So let's go take a look at the armor and see if it's any good there. So this is the 53 TP, as you can see. And let's go on the old live viewer, and there lies the problem. This tank, it's got good turret armor. The turret is pretty good, 277. It's a really good turret. That will stand up against most tier 9s and even some tier 10s firing standard rounds. But the cupola is pretty huge, and the main issue lies in the mid/lower plate, not the very lower plate because it's very well angled, and the upper plate is only 281 millimeters, and even if you angle it incredibly effectively to the best of your ability, it's still only 280-ish. So you can obviously, like, it's not the end of the world, especially against lower tier tanks. That's still not bad, and when you use your gun depression like this, say someone's got that kind of shot at you, that's 220 on the upper plate. But the tank is by no means amazing when it comes to armor. Like, the side armor's not great either, 80 millimeters, which isn't bad. By no means is bad, but if someone gets that kind of a shot at you, they're going to go through, take your tracks off. That, you know, it's not a ridiculously well-angled tank. It's not bad in terms of, from RT, 50 millimeters at the top. It's just the rear plate that's 30, which could potentially be a problem there. But yeah, the armor, it's not great, but it's not terrible. And I think that's kind of what you've got to take into account when you compare it to the rest of these tanks. But it's not that much worse that I think it reduces the effectiveness of all of these tools that it has, all of the gun handling, the decent ability, and the good DPM as well. It just, honestly, this tank, it just feels incredibly good. It just feels not incredibly good. It just feels solid. That's the word I'm going to use. It feels solid. It feels like, okay, I feel like I've got a chance here. And you're going to see that in the Edge Tank gameplay in just a second. Now, let's jump back into the garage, and I'll show you the equipment and give you my thorough opinion on the tank, even though I already half have. So, equipment-wise on this tank, fairly standard. You're going to want to run a tank gun rammer, very obvious. Vert stabs, very obvious. And you've got an option. You can either run optics or vents, same as most tanks, really. You've got a choice. Seriously. Oh, my face, stop doing that. You've got a choice of optics or vents. I've gone for, on the choice of vents, just because view range, tier 8, distinctively meh. You don't really need it, but, you know, it's not too bad. Horsepower per tonne's actually down. Have I not got the top engine? I haven't actually got the top engine, so, you know. Ooh, screw me. So in the replay that you see, this tank, if you do fully upgrade it, will be a little bit faster. But yeah, you just 5% extra of things. Crew skills is always nice. Just gives you a little bit of DPM, a bit better dispersion, a bit better aim time, you know, everything like that. Just fine-tunes the tank a little bit. Now, the 53 TP overall, what do I think about this tank, and what is my recommendation? Two parts to this tank. Firstly, when it's in this configuration, when it's fully upgraded, it's really good. I actually really would recommend this tank. I think it's a solid frontlines tank. It seems like it's a really good randoms tank. 1,900 average damage across 22 games. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. And I will add a little caveat to that. I think this tank is really good. I don't think you're gonna be wanting to use all of your ×5s and that to grind towards the 50 TP. However, and this is a very, very big however, stock, this tank is bloody awful. The gun is not good. You just don't trade very well. You've got 320 average damage. I know that's effectively like a T32, but you haven't got the tools like the T32 has. The turret armor doesn't work. Because, as you can see, this is the stock turret. It's so flat and bulky. So flat, and it's only 200mm thick. It's really slow, because I'm pretty sure it's just disgusting. It's just horrible. It's really, really bad. And that is where you're going to want to use your free XP and your ×5s and all of that shebang. And that is one of the reasons why this is slightly lower than it probably could otherwise be. I reckon this could be up there with some of my better tier 8 tanks, in all honesty. I don't like the Carnarvon. I forgot about the Carnarvon. Or the Centurion, to be fair. Oh, well done, Max. Yeah, it's better than that. I'm not going to spend forever searching through, but, you know, Liberté 2000. But, yeah, it's actually been a very, very good tank, and I've played very, very consistently in it, and I think it's really pretty good. And all I need now is another 4,500 XP, if I can quick maths, which I think I can, to get the 50 TP, which I'll be doing in the next couple of days. If I get round to it, if I have a good game, I'll probably do a tank review on the 50 TP as well, and then hopefully when I get up to the 60 TP. Now, we're going to jump into the gameplay in just a second, so if you want to skip this just a little talky bit, it will honestly be like a minute. Standard YouTube crap, subscribe, like, notifications, blah, blah, blah. And I just want to say, before we jump into the gameplay, that the gameplay I recorded about 4 or 5 days ago, because it's a replay from 1.8, and obviously I didn't want the replay to break as we went into 1.9, but I didn't have time to record this part of the video. So anything that I do say it at the start of the replay as well, I'm pretty sure, but anything I say in the replay that doesn't quite match up, that's kind of because, you know, I'm stupid and I've forgotten. But yeah, I think I'm more just trying to commentate on the gameplay. So anyway, I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Past Max. I say very capable hands, in the hands of Past Max. He's going to do your ace tanker and your post-game stats and then just wrap up. Like I say, I think this tank is pretty good. Strong contender at tier 8 for tier 8 heavy. Doesn't quite compete with the defender, obviously, though. And yeah, let's go jump into the ace tank gameplay. I was going to say thank you very much for watching then. Here we go, guys, into the gameplay. Now, 53 TP, highway, tier 8 game exclusively, no arty. Very nice, we like this a lot. I'm platooned up with Tom. He's in his 53 TP as well. We have been grinding through this tank together. I think now I've pretty much unlocked the 50 TP. So this was nice to get an ace at the end. Also, another thing I'd just like to point out before I get into town, before I get into the main action, I am actually recording the replay part of this video before I record the tank review part of this video. That's because this replay is from 1.8. Is that what patch we just were on? 1.8. Obviously, it's then changed to 1.9, and I'm just literally recording this part of the video, and then I'm going to update the game, and then do the rest of the tank review. So if I repeat myself on anything, I'm very sorry, but, you know, I'm crap. Live with it. So, 53 TP. like we said, this thing has got okay armour. Its gun, pretty good to be fair. 420 alpha, decent penetration. The premium rounds are a little bit to be desired, but we're going to take this thing into the town, obviously, especially as you've got me and Tom coming into the town. You've got mad firepower. 840 combined damage. Very, 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 very nice indeed. There's the Renegade. Got to be careful of him. I'm going to just aim at him for a little while, just in case he does decide that he wants to pop out. But as you can see from the angle of his turret, he's clearly, or he was, clearly zoomed out. I did have a green pen marker on his drive wheel very briefly, so that's why I took the shot. Now, VK. Look at the Renegade, see if he's going to fall back. That Renegade is taking an absolute beating from that Samoa. Kind of looks like, yep, they're going to trade 1 for 1. I mean, that VK really probably regrets his decision crossing that gap now and killing that Samoa. I go out for the Liberté. I'm not going to go out and get tracked side on because there is obviously the VK out there, so I decide I'm going to side scrape off the corner. Oh, that's a bit too much angle, Mr. Liberté, and thank you very much for bouncing off my tracks. This alpha is honestly so nice. It's obviously, I'm pretty sure, I've probably said this already, but I'm pretty sure it's a unique alpha in the game, 420. But the reload doesn't seem ridiculously long. Obviously, I know that's because it's not crazy high. It's just a little bit high, but it feels so much nicer knowing that you're more likely to roll for 400 than you are for 300. Now, Mauerbrecher, don't really want to take a shot from him. Again, side scrape the shell, and yeah, you sit there, VK. We're just about to go kill your Mauerbrecher friend, so if you want to sit there, you sit there. I play quite bold, drive straight past him, use the mobility of this tank, get around him, and stick beside him. I think Tom just took a round from him there, but I'm going to make sure that he doesn't get another one in. He decides to ram. I make sure I aim because I don't want to accidentally be shooting up at his turret and ding off him. Now VK, break through the wall, back to turret. Nice for the third kill of the game. Max, the Scorpion down there. Oh yeah, you remember that now. Good. So all in all, the town hasn't gone too bad, and now me and Tom kind of make a decision, a joint decision that, you know, if we're going to go somewhere, we're going to go somewhere together. There's no point splitting up. That we're going to go back and defend our base. The ELC even 90 is rushing in. Obviously, that means that tank destroyers, the Borsig, the Scorpion, the S1, usually aren't going to last very long. Nice snipe there by the IS-3 to kill the oh, I can't even think what I'm trying to say. ELC even 90. That's the one. It's literally written right on the screen, Max. Come on, use your brains. Yeah, we decide to go back, and it's never a bad thing to go back. Yes, sometimes, like, for example, us here, I kind of feel bad for this AT-15 because we're abandoning him to 2 Scorpions. He has got a Lynx, but it's not great. But obviously, in a decision here, if you push the enemy base, you get to here, and they start capping, you're buggered. If you go back, deal with your side first, and then go back this way, you haven't lost the game. Yes, you might die, but you haven't automatically lost the game's cap. And there's nothing worse than making a decision and then losing out on a load of damage or losing out on the game because the enemies have triple cap. So, me and Tom decided to go back. We need to try to deal with those guys. Right, there is the Mod 1. He's still on quite a lot of health, so we've got to be careful. 44-100 spots me. Shoots me. Progetto, fortunately for me, not looking. Get him out. He's probably the priority target because if obviously he catches my side, he can do about 700 damage. T-44 bounces off me. I'd say to Tom, T-44 is about here. Just be careful because he's obviously more in the line of fire than I am. Even though the T-44 is still shooting me. He does have a stock gun, however, so that's not too bad. 44-100 shoots me. I say that to Tom, but he's already aimed and finishes him off. The Scorpions have killed the AT-15 in the town. I don't know what kind of damage he did to them. Aim at the lower plate at the Mod 1. And now load an APCR round just because I don't want to hang around too long here fighting with this guy. And fortunately the IS-3 rams in before I get it off. Now, T-44. Tom kills T-44. Very nice. And oh shit, there's a Ferdinand. I wasn't really paying attention in the game that there was still an unspotted Ferdinand. I thought it was the T-44 and then the Scorpions. I go forward to try and use the gun depression to try and hit the Ferdinand. I think, screw it, I may as well try a blind shot. And then fall back. And now it's turned into a very, very tactical game. It's almost like the map has reset and it's now a 3-on-3. Our 3 tanks are kind of in our base. Yes, the Ferdinand's in the middle, but the Scorpions are in their base. Now, I just want to say what I was thinking what I wanted to do was then retake the town, kill off the Scorpions, and then obviously the Ferdinand is dead in the middle with the IS-3. 2 reasons I didn't do that. Firstly, my team isn't going that way or supporting me that way, so it's a bad idea to split up completely now. I'm not going to stick to my IS-3 like anything, but I'm not going to split up massively. Second reason is because I was pretty sure by that point a Scorpion would have moved into the K7 kind of area in one of the bushes, and me going down here and getting up here, if I'm only a 2-shot for a Scorpion. If he didn't kill me, he needs to really relearn how to play World of Tanks. So I decided not to do that. Ferdinand spotted, I go, oh wait, that was probably me that spotted him. Even though I haven't got great view range, Ferdinand, not exactly the most sneaky of tank destroyers. So I backed off just because, again, I don't know where the Scorpions were. Tom said one of the Scorpions was on his last known, kind of up here. And the other one we don't know. We would assume, or I'm assuming he's probably now coming down this way. And one of them is probably coming to about here somewhere with the Ferdinand in the middle. I'm just kind of chilling at this point. I'm seeing what our IS-3 is doing. I'm seeing if our S1 can spot any tanks. Our S1 is playing relatively sensibly, going right back to the back of the map. You know, doing S1 things, which I love the S1. I don't love the S1. Scorpion on 402 health. That's always nice. That means he's well, 6 or 7 times out of 10, I do kill him in one shot, which is very nice. I'm like, if you could just move back up, Scorpion, that would be great. Now the IS-3 is coming across, I kind of need to fill the hole in. The enemies aren't going to escape that way through the river now. And if there is a tank over here, so what? There's a tank over here. We need to concentrate on killing these 2 guys at very least. With this guy, it's still an unknown, really. So I decided to move back forward, kind of fill the gap between my 2 teammates. Make sure that I'm able to react if they try to 2-on-1 any of my friends. Because at this point, I want to try and keep my friends in the game, because even if they don't do any damage, it's still spotting and it's still hit points that the enemies, like our IS-3 is a 2-shot for Scorpions. That's really handy. And the Ferdinand. And, oh, there is the other Scorpion. So we don't have to worry. There will, however, be all 3 enemy tanks really close together. Enemy Scorpion doesn't really think I'm there. I did fire APCR at him, and I'm still firing APCR. I am aware of that. I didn't realise it at the time. Takes a shot. Scorpion bounces off me, hits my gun. I thought I put my gun in before I took the shot. I didn't. But that's all good. It's all good. And now we need to haul ass and get down there before those 2 kill the IS-3. And there's a lot of shooting and not a lot of damage taking going on here. Scorpion shoots my IS-3. I need to go down. Scorpion finishes him off. I need to kill the Scorpion. He is the biggest threat here. Kill the Scorpion nice and gently, and then besides the Ferdinand, and that is game. I did think about switching back to AP here, but I was like, I just want my highest DPM I possibly can. I'm using auto aim. I don't really know why, but if my auto aim messes that up, I'm gonna be real upset. But yeah, this is pretty much all she wrote. And there we go. Absolutely smashed it in the 53 TP. Oh. I did a thing. There we go. 53 TP. Not a bad thing. Not bad at all. No problem. I don't know why I'm doing Russian accent. It's not even Russian, Max. It's not even Russian. But yeah, that hopefully shows you a little bit about what the 53 TP is all about. We will go take a look at the post-game stats in just a second. Just before we hop over into that, I just want to say, if you haven't made it this far into the video, you clearly don't hate me. So please consider giving the video a like if you found it useful or entertaining in any way, shape or form. As well as that, if you are this far into the video and you're not subscribed, why aren't you subscribed? You clearly, again, don't hate me that much, can put up with me, and it's great. So please subscribe. Also, whether you're a new or old subscriber, consider turning notifications on. I've got my arse in gear a bit more now with YouTube, so, you know, I have more videos coming out. Why not make sure you know when they come out? Oh, voicebreakatme.com. Other than that, let's go take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So there we go, guys. That was an ace tanker. Obviously, no spoilers there, as throughout the whole video I say, well, wait for the ace tanker gameplay. It was an ace tanker! Never! It was an ace tanker. We have got a high caliber as well, and a top gun for getting 6 kills, which is not too shabby. 4,758 damage, 6 kills, and 500 spotting. A little bit of blocked as well. I say a little bit blocked, nearly the hit points of our vehicle, which is pretty nice. And 1,404 base XP, which is nice for the old ace. 18 shots fired, 15 hit, and 14 penned. That's not bad pen ratio, doing that 4,758 damage, 1,400 damage blocked, 500 assisted, in a game that lasted a second under 10 minutes. We also did make some credits, even though we did fire quite a lot of premium rounds at the end. I'm aware all of those rounds pretty much from... Well, I loaded the premium round to kill the mod 1, but anything after that could have been AP, but, you know, I wanted to make sure the game was secure. Making it a 28,000 credit profit, and yeah. Other than that, do everything I said before. I'm not going to repeat it. Subscribe, like, notifications, blah, 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 YouTuber waffle. And thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.